Let's take a look at a Korbanth GL9 lightsaber. This is a custom saber inspired by the design of the Leia lightsaber in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So this is a gorgeous hilt. It's got very much a regal vibe to it. And let's take a closer look now. So this hilt overall is just under 11 inches long, so it's 10.75 inches long. It has a 1-inch diameter blade socket and does include this blade plug. So the blade plug, or the blade, attaches to the hilt with 2 blade retention screws actually. So let me see if I can undo that to kind of show what that looks like. So we've got these kind of holes on the top and sort of some indentations, circular indentations. So there's one screw and another. A lot of these lightsabers seem to typically have 1 blade retention screw, so it's kind of interesting that this one has 2. So it is a short blade plug. And then here's kind of what the inside looks like. So it really kind of nests right there, and these retention screws just keep it kind of from falling out. So the radiator style emitter is pretty sweet. They're kind of these 4 flat kind of discs, and it has a little bit of a retro vibe, you know, with that kind of design. Which I think was part of this is maybe my interpretation, but the Leia lightsaber, or just, you know, anything that is Leia lightsaber like, it sort of echoes the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, right? So it's a thin neck saber. It has this retro, almost like Return of the Jedi vibe to it, even though we were only recently introduced to the lightsaber. All right, I think we have just about reattached the blade plug to the hilt. So overall, this hilt is two-toned. It's kind of has this chromed look to it overall, kind of a chromed metallic silver and a chromed, you know, brown bronze type of color to it. There's the thin neck, and then this part right here, there are actually 2 switches right here. So this top switch has this kind of faux, you know, mother of pearl inlay to it, and it's angled a bit. And then the switch down here, you may not even notice that it's a switch initially, but these are both, you know, switches, and they can be wired if you do choose to install this hilt. Now moving down, we have the kind of grip section that I think of these grips as sort of like spines. They're a little bit reminiscent of the T-track grips that you see with some of the original trilogy lightsabers as well, but they have this sort of cinched middle to them, and then they kind of flare out on the end. And there are some little screws in there. And then finally we get to the bottom. We have this pommel on the bottom. It's vented. It does have a D-ring as well. So you could, you know, wear this on your belt. But yeah, last thing that I'll do, I guess, is break this hilt down for you. So the emitter section comes apart here, and then the body. And the pommel, so it is handy that it breaks apart into 3 pieces like this. So here is the emitter section, here's the body, and then here is the pommel. All right, so I think this has been, you know, this kind of sums it up. Now this hilt is empty, and it can take electronics installations. It should be able to accommodate a Profi board, CFX, different kind of NeoPixel boards, or, you know, other boards as well. So let's just kind of get it all back together. Now it is kind of a chrome style hilt, so that gives it kind of this ornate feel overall, and it also means that you can very easily collect some fingerprints on it, so keep that in mind. You might want to have, you know, some kind of, you know, they're the kind of those really soft rags that you can kind of, you know, get rid of fingerprints with. Those would be good for a hilt like this. But yeah, I really like the design. It's It's very fancy looking, but also, very original trilogy-like. So it looks like they did a pretty good job. This is a Korbanth GL9 lightsaber hilt, and it had a pretty good reception when it came out. Sold out pretty quickly. So maybe you can find it secondhand somewhere. But yeah, this is a Leia-inspired hilt by Korbanth. So feel free to comment below.